Welcome everybody. We are ready to start our 2025 4-H Sheep Show. As you are looking in your programs, there is a sheep show running order. We will be starting on page 2 with our purebred breeding ewes. All right, so second page, south down purebred breeding ewes will be entering the show ring. Attention sheep exhibitors, please have the Dorset purebred ewe to the north end of the show ring. First call, Dorset. Second call, Dorset purebred ewes. Make sure we have the Hampshire purebred ewes to the north end of the show ring.
Well, good morning, and it's nice to be here on a cool day, and I know you guys got a little more rain than we did at home, but we're really thankful for the continued rain and moisture we're getting and how the crops look and everything. And what an interesting class to start out with two Southdowns that are different breeds and provide different values and endpoints, but I'm going to use the young man's ewe, baby doll Southdown ewe, to lead out this drive. And as you just study that one, I think the pieces fit together right. This one blends super neat about its shoulder into its neck. She's up about her shoulder point, dead level in her makeup, and probably the big difference is when we get to the side, she has an added extra depth to her flank and balance as she carries from flank to loin to hip. That's where I see her advantage in this class. The young lady's ewe in second. There's a lot of things I like about this ewe. She's really long about her look. She's trim and firm and fresh in her appearance. For me, she gets deeper about her chest plate, a little flatter about her forerib. More importantly, though, as we study her back, she tightens up in her flank and rounds out of her hip accordingly. That's to take away a pretty nice ewe lamb there. But let's get put our hands together for these two kids in this first class.
In our first class of South Downs, first place went to Clancy DeBrick, second, Ava Oman. So our champion purebred South Down was exhibited by Clancy DeBrick. Entering the ring now is our Dorset purebreds. While he is looking over the Dorsets, we're going to welcome Adam. Adam Wirt is from Lenox, South Dakota. He raises both club lambs and purebred South Down sheep. He attended SDSU and has a degree in agricultural systems technology and was a member of the SDSU livestock judging team. He is currently the manager at Poet Bioprocessing in Hudson, South Dakota. One of their focuses within their operation at home is to provide youth the chance to participate in livestock industry because they believe in the value it teaches youth. So he offers to judge as another way to support the kids and the families that do this and put the effort into it. Let's welcome Adam to Sioux County. Round of applause for Adam. Our event today and our programs are being sponsored by Biker Show Lambs. We also want to thank Livestream Livestock Shows, Harvest Media, for putting our show on Livestream, and our plaque sponsors. Our sheep showmanship is in memory of B.J. Lusink, and our plaques are sponsored by the Sioux County 4-H Endowment.
In this Dorset class here, I think we have a pretty easy class winner to gravitate to. One that brings you a very striking presence from the side, really level and sporty in her makeup. You know, if I change that one, I just want to crack her open a little bit more in her chest floor and let that rib cage sit in there a little more naturally. But that's taken away from one that's really fresh in its muscle, really big backed, and has a great look from the side. The young lady in second probably has a ewe that has more natural shape, maybe some more natural width to it. But as we study this one, especially on the move, she likes to get that top line up, and we just need to relax her, make her more comfortable as she gets on the move and let that top settle in for her to advance up today. Let's congratulate those kids with a nice round of applause.
Exhibiting our champion Dorset was Baylor Van Riggenmorter. Exhibiting our reserve champion Dorset was Ava Oman. In the ring now, we have our purebred Hampshire ewe.
This young lady's single entry is one that you really have to appreciate once she gets it set up and you can get to the side of it. From a front end perspective, that one's put together really neat. That neck sits really high on the shoulder. She's long and trim and extended about her neck shape and yet blends super good into her shoulder. We get to that point, she's dead level in her makeup, just has that really nice feminine look. You know, when we put her into motion, she tends to get her top up a little bit, and I'd like to just see that sit better. But again, a really nice ewe lamb that deserves a purple. Let's give her a big round of applause.
Exhibiting our purebred ewe Hampshire was Allison Mueller. Entering the ring now is our Hampshire yearling purebred ewe, which is not in the program, but that's what's next.
The Hamp Ewe yearling ewe that comes out here is one that's truly practical and useful as we talk about making sheep that go on and reproduce and put pounds of product on. And those are things you got to appreciate about this one. Big centered, big caged, lots of width and dimension to that skeleton. As we've talked in other classes, she maintains some great levelness of her spine and her build. She's maybe not as showy as some of the other sheep, but she doesn't need to be. The value she brings is productivity and those items. So let's congratulate this young lady on a purple ribbon.
Exhibiting our Hampshire yearling ewe was Destiny Clarenbeek. We will now be bringing in the previous champions and reserves and choosing the overall purebred ewe.
Really neat to see a bunch of purebred sheep, and fun to sort through quality ones like you guys brought out today. Again, I think there's a lot of ways you could go depending on your preferences, but there's two I think their basic builds just excel the rest, and we'll go out and select those two as your champion and reserve. As I do, let's congratulate the kids one more time.
Exhibiting our champion purebred was Baylor Van Riggemore with her Dorset, and our reserve purebred went to Clancy DeBreek with his South Downs. We will now be bringing in our white face ewes. Which we are back on page 1. Back on page 1, our commercial ewe white face.
The young lady's Dorset appearing ewe that leads out this class, again, when we get on the side profile, easily wins from my opinion. She brings some really neat factors to the table of one that's really symmetrical in her body shape and top and underline balance. That's a sheep that's got some spread of muscle and yet does it in a really neat level package. And you're impressed with the amount of stoutness she brings at the ground. To be honest, though, we got to change this one in motion. She gets too rigid for me in her top and drops her neck down into her shoulders too much. But that's why, again, on the side profile, super, super good ewe. We just need to fix her on the move to make her one of those really elite kind. The young lady in second brings one, again, that has some practicality to it. I appreciate this one in terms of spread of rib, the shape of rib she has. It has some muscle shape for the amount of frame she brings to the table. At times, though, she tends to get a little rounder about her hip. She tends to break out of her shoulder a shade, and I just like to stouten her up. But a really nice ewe for the young lady. Let's give those two young gals a big round of applause.
In our commercial ewe whiteface class, our receiving a purple was Kinley Cameron. Kayla Fetters received a blue. Entering the ring next will be our yearling whiteface ewe. Our yearling whiteface ewe.
The young lady here brings us one that's truly in her working clothes, and with that said, I think there's tons to appreciate about this sheep, and it starts with her going in motion. That one is sound as a cat. Those feet work and plant and stretch like they're supposed to, and I think that's a great feature to start out with. Again, you get off to the side, she's a long-bodied ewe that's really level in her makeup. You get behind her, she's square from ground to top. She just brings a lot of good practicality to the table. mean, that's just good sheep and good stock right there. Let's put our hands together and congratulate her on a really nice project.
Exhibiting our champion exhibiting our commercial yearling ewe whiteface was Lexi Clarenbeek.
Another really nice entry here the young lady brings. Again, one that's props up and is tall at the point of her shoulder, really long about her side and back. This one has some natural shape and progression. That really combines into a nice rib cage. It's got some good shape. I would like to take this one and compress it up in its chest floor, shorten its blade a little bit, just to balance its underline symmetry. But taking that away, that's a really nice ewe. Let's congratulate her as she exits the ring.
In our speckled face class, first place went to Rael Cruzy. Entering the ring next, we will be starting with our black face ewe classes. This is our first class of commercial ewe black face. Attention sheep exhibitors. I'm trying to be as loud as I can so you can hear me all the way by the tent. Class 2 blackface, we will need you to the north end of the show ring. Class 2 blackface, first and second call. First call for class 3. First call, class 3 blackface.
challenging class to sort as they each have things you'd like to change to kind of make them that more complete or balanced sheep. And I guess the longer they're out here and they settle in, the young man's ewe, for me, I'm the most comfortable with the positive she brings to this particular drive. As we study them, she's probably the widest as we start at the ground and come up into her skeleton. I think she is the broadest about her chest and blades, and that exudes the most shape and muscle down her top. You get off to the side, I think she balances as well as any in terms of underline balance and how her top sits in her. You know, I'm the first to tell you, I got to fix that loin edge. It's got to square up. It's got to tie in way better into that hip juncture. But of the rest of the pieces she brings, I think that's our natural class winner in here. But it comes with we need to fix that rear flank loin edge position. The ewe in second, when we can get her to settle in, that's an intriguing ewe. She's longer about her neck. She's taller about her shoulder. I think her underline progresses and sweeps in a much better fashion. But when we stand back, she's shorter at the point of her shoulder. She runs down into it and then has a tendency to slope out of her hip. So I just don't think she balances up. And when I get behind her, she's just way narrower at the ground compared to that class winner. We change some of those features and let her balance up. I think she can win this class from that perspective. The young lady in three, there's moments I think your ewe has some really freakish out there cool pieces, because your front end design in terms of length of neck and blend into shoulder is as good as any in here. Again, you have a really trim, fresh sheep that probably just needs more time on feed to get some growth. My biggest problem is you put this one into motion and she's too rigid in her shoulder. We need to let her get out and go, and we just need to get a good picture of her. It's really hard when she's struggling with the young lady today. But let's put our hands together and congratulate those kids in this drive.
In our first class of commercial ewe blackface, first place went to Kason Van Briesen. Second, Ava Ullman, receiving a blue, Sadie Fetters. Entering the ring now is our second class of blackface ewes. Attention sheep exhibitors, second call, class 3, second call, class 3 blackface ewes. First call, class 4 blackface ewes.
all four of these ladies bring some really nice ewes to the class here, and relative to the last class, I think this one lines up a lot easier for me. And the young lady's natural ewe is just one that commands your attention as she comes in. Ultimately super stout at the ground, big in her foot, and that carries up into her body mass and shape. I mean, this is the big cage, heavy muscled sheep of the class, and you get off to the side, and I think she balances really well also. Maybe one you just want to see work the back leg a little bit longer in her move, but that's being pretty picky. I just think that's a nice, easy spot to gravitate to. The young lady's ewe in second, I really like this ewe. And the way to put it, or to explain it, is it's built almost perfect. You just don't have as much of everything as maybe that ewe in front of you. You're not as thick, you're not as wide, you're not as stout, but your ewe blends perfectly. The lines are right. There's tons and tons of quality. That's a really, really good ewe. Just got beat by one. It's got a few extras to it. So, but really like her a bunch. Young lady's ewe in third. If I could just look at that one from about the third rib back, she's ultra competitive with the first two. She might be the biggest back, biggest hip, biggest ended, maybe even the widest made sheep of the class. It's your front end design that is where you find yourself in third. She's deeper chested, she's shorter necked. We just need to change those pieces and make that blend in neater. But you have 2/3 of a sheep that's really, really good to build with in the future, so be proud of that. Young lady in fourth, again, we talk about simplicity and how it's built and ties together. There's a long topped, really smooth made, balanced one. Again, you're kind of like that ewe in second. You just don't have as much sheep, but your basic build is so good that you deserve to be up there, and you're doing things right. So keep up the good work. Let's congratulate those four young ladies on a really good class.
In our second class of blackface ewes, first place went to Bria Lusink. Second, Cora Fetters. Charlie Vandenberg received a lavender. Elise received a lavender, and Charlie received a blue. Entering the ring now is class 3 of our blackface ewes.
tremendous class top to bottom, and these top two are as good as you're going to find pretty much anywhere. And it's fun to sit here and just evaluate them and just pick them apart in your mind of how they're built. And frankly, this is personal preference here, that there's a little distinct difference of what we're trying to do at home that gravitates me to the black ewe, and that's not to take away from this one in second. And I'll tell you what I see. This black or natural colored ewe comes out at it as just one stout individual at the ground, and you gotta love the foot and bone that she exudes. You get off to the side, this one's dead level, offers a little more length of spine, and is super fresh and hard to the handle. Where I get the difference, what sorts it for me between these two is when I study them at the side, this black ewe inclines up, and that's a big deal for me right now. I think we're trying to get livestock that needs to go uphill, and that's the distinct difference between the two of why I split them today. She's better at the point of her shoulder and how she runs uphill. This young lady in two, talk about width of skeleton, talk about rib cage shape, just massive center body, back shape. This one's way out there good. I think the pieces she brings might be further out there to change a program. It's when we bring it all together, I don't know if it balances just quite as well. I read her a notch shorter in her hip design. I read her a notch heavier in her condition, and maybe not quite as much flank. But that's picking on one that I think I could easily move to first in a heartbeat and be okay walking away today. I just like the extra elevation and trimness through the chest plate that the other one offers relative to her. But you gotta appreciate that center third of this ewe, because that's lights out good. Awesome job on that ewe. Next three ladies, I like your ewes a bunch. And you just ran into some powerful sheep in front of you. Your guys' builds are all really good. I mean, we can sit here and talk about they're dead level in their makeup. They're attractive from the side. They got good turns to their rib cages. You guys just don't have as much mass, as much width, and some of those extras. But these are really, really good sheep. Be proud of your projects, because you're all purple ribbons. Let's give all those kids a big round of applause on this drive.
In our Class 3 black face ewes, first place went to Kenny Hulsuff, second, Carly Seabrandt, third, Rael Cruz, fourth, Kinley Cameraman, and fifth, Bree Lusink. Entering the ring now is our last class of black face ewes. After our next class, we will be choosing the champion and reserve champion commercial ewe and the black face breed.
We have a high caliber pair to lead out with here, and yet the white ewe just simply has more spread. She's wider about her shoulders, she's wider about her center rib cage, and just carries a lot more mass, and more importantly blends it smoothly from end to end. One that just, I think, has to go to the top pretty easy here. Young lady's natural color ewe, there's pieces you got to appreciate. Its hardness and fresh and handle's incredible. This one has a ton of shape packed into that skeleton. I just don't know if it all packs together right. Here's one that's a little bit tighter about its forerib, a little bit more cut up about its flank, as you can see with the wool underneath. And as you just get behind, she's rounder, more pinched about her hip and loin juncture. I just want her to fit better and more smoothly. That's where your class winner just has the advantage here. And maybe this ewe in third has that advantage of fitting a little bit better together. She's a really long spine, really level made ewe. It's just when we get in motion, she's a little tighter and more rigid about her movement. I just like to see her go with more freedom and stretch. And maybe not as pretty up through that front end as the other two, but a really good ewe to fall into third. Young lady's ewe in four is just a powerhouse in terms of width and shape. She is a big cage, wide made one that's got some stoutness. With that comes some plainness. She's a little more open and plain about her shoulder. She's a little thicker and shorter about her neck. Maybe just not as pretty and youthful about her front end compared to the other three. Young lady rounds out the drive though. Here's a really long, big frame, growthy kind of ewe, but I think we can all see maybe not as stout in its makeup, maybe not as muscular and spread on its total body design. But again, lots of value there. Let's congratulate those kids in this drive.
Entering the ring next will be our yearling ewes blackface, which is in the middle of page 2. Our yearling ewe blackface. It's in the middle of page 2.
Well, let's start out and give these kids a big round of applause for an excellent set of crossbred breeding ewes. And I know we got a lot of show left, but I was excited to get the call back to come back to Sioux County because this is what I enjoyed last year, seeing some really, really good stock from top to bottom, and hope that continues as we go forward. This has been fun. We'll go out and pick your top two, and as we do, let's congratulate those kids this morning. This has been a really tough ewe drive, and been really fun to evaluate. So again, help me in congratulating the kids as we select our grand and reserve.
Okay, we're going to do some catch up here. I've never got to announce Class 4 winners. First place was Carly Seabrandt, second Braylee Cleveringa, third Kinley Kermerman, fourth Cheyenne Zutenhorst, and fifth Lexi Clarenbeek. Then we have entered the ring with our champion in reserves, and our champion Blackface was exhibited by Kenny Hulseth and our reserve Carly Seabrandt.
All right, so in your whiteface crossbred division, the young lady out of the middle class here will be your champion, and the young lady's yearling ewe will be reserve. Congratulations. I think all these kids got some really high quality animals as we've kind of talked throughout the day, and I'll just give you a high level spiel of what I see. We start with this white, the crossbred white division ewe. When we have her on the brace, I think that one comes together and fits a lot of pieces that we value in this industry and in the market lamb piece. That one will be fun to take home with the extreme she brings and stoutness of muscle, stoutness of bone, and width. I think we can fix her front end with one breeding generation. You should be excited about that one. Young lady's Dorset that wins the purebreds. Again, for a white purebred papered sheep, I think that one offers tons of value. I really love that one in terms of how she elevates through her front end, has that good side presence, and yet really hard, fresh, and trim for a white one at this stage. That's pretty cool. Again, I think one more generation, that one can make some elite show stock. Then we come down to these black crossbreds, and we talked that class in depth. That was some high quality livestock, and man, they're just fun to look at. We could stand here for a while and just stare and appreciate them, but we won't do that. They're going to be your grand and reserve in the breeding show today. Let's congratulate them.
All right, just to keep you guys in the loop here, we may have accidentally forgot our yearling ewes, so we're going to run through them now and give them the recognition they deserve. And then I will need my rate of gain kiddos and my advanced feeder lambs to come up to the ring.
So we're going to leave these two just as they stand, and the young lady here will be your class winner, division winner here. And a ewe I really like for a yearling ewe. I think she still has a composition and just holds herself together that's really, really neat for her age and weight. And I think she balances up good. That one's got some nice spread to her skeleton, cool shape to her rib. I think that's just a really nice ewe. I'd be excited if I owned her, and that's a really nice one to lead out with. Young ladies in second, again, maybe not a show ewe, but we've talked about practicality in some classes, and this one brings it. This ewe is growthy, has size, pounds, and yet puts it together in a very nice package. Again, maybe not the show ring type, but again, one that's going to add tons of value at home. Let's congratulate these two young ladies.
All right, we are going to work through our champion rate of gain. So if I could have Destiny Clarenbeek and Georgia Vandenberg, and if Kaysen Van Briesen is around, they can come into the show ring. Okay, Destiny is our champion rate of gain. She had a .68 rate of gain, and Georgia Vandenberg had a 0.66. So go ahead and give these two exhibitors a round of applause for growing their sheep really well.
Do you want to do feeder lamb next?
Yes, I'll do feeder lambs. If you are an advanced feeder lamb exhibitor, could you come on into the show ring? This is advanced feeder lamb.
Oh, he.
Give me a minute. Okay, give me a minute. Is this everyone? Okay, so this year we had a record-breaking year with our advanced feeder lamb projects. So these kids, they have a pin of 3 lambs that they either buy or grow themselves, and then they, from the day they weigh in, when is that, May? And then till now, they get judged on rate of gain. Is a big one here. I'm going to pull up my phone. The poster's right over here if any of you want to see exactly how they did. Sorry, one second. Rate of gain, they get judged on record management, so they have to keep track of the feed, the shots, the bedding, anything that they do with their livestock, a personal interview, which is when us as superintendents went around yesterday and just kind of got to know a little bit about their project, their favorite part, the hardest part, something they learned, things like that. Live placing, again, as superintendents, we go to their farms and then check out if they're being well kept, how often they're getting fed, if they're growing good, if they're managing flies, things like that. And then lastly, we added this category this year, was overall project efficiency. And this is what we did is we said if they went to market today, which ones were the most ready or would sell for the highest amount of money if you were to take them somewhere to get sold today. So that's kind of how we went around placing all of those. Before I go ahead and announce the winner, I'm going to have each of you on the mic, and they're all going to pee their pants because I didn't tell them that they were doing this, say their favorite part of their project.
I'm Elsie Scolton, and my favorite part was seeing how good they grow.
I'm Cody Hansen. My favorite part is just seeing what they weigh like when you start and watch them grow over the summer and see what the finishing weight is in July.
My name is Dana Hansen. My favorite part was learning more about sheep.
I'm Micah Axendorf, and probably just watching them grow over the summer.
My name's Dana Scoyd, and my favorite part was seeing how much they grew.
My name's Jenna Skull, and my favorite part was seeing how effectively they could put on weight.
I'm Lane Scolton, and my favorite part was bringing them to the fair.
Yes, give a round of applause for all those exhibitors. All right, so your champion this year was Cody Hansen with 147 points. Runner-up was Dana Hansen with 144 total points. Your third place receiving a blue was Micah Oxendorf. Your fourth place receiving a blue was Lane Scolton. A tie for fifth place this year, both receiving blues, was Jenna Scolton and Elsie Scolton. And finally, your sixth place with receiving a blue was Dana Scolton. Again, give these kiddos a round of applause.
Entering the ring now is our bottle lamb class.
Well, these three young ladies brought their bottle lambs out here, and I got the drift. They are truly bottle lambs because they all talked about how they follow them around and they're like pets and all those kind of things. So that tells me another thing, that these young ladies have put a lot of time into them, supporting them, making sure they're growing good and getting the nourishment and the things they have to that the extra care bottle lamb takes. So I think that's super commendable. I think it's awesome you guys followed this project through and did that. So this young lady closest to me is going to be your purple ribbon winner here. I think that lamb's just big and growthy and performed well, and just looks like the young ladies really put a lot of good effort into it. So give her a big round of applause. Next we'll follow with the young lady Suffolk one. Again, that's a pretty young sheep that's gaining really well, and again, she answered the questions and has super good knowledge. So she'll be a blue ribbon, and the other young lady here will be a blue ribbon with hers that, again, she talked about how she enjoys spending time with it and how it follows her around. So again, let's give all those young ladies a big round of applause for this class.
Entering the ring now is our purebred market Hampshire. We have one entry in this class.
Well, this is a really neat single entry one, and one that, again, as a judge, you'll look to see it come back later and put it against others, because this one exudes a ton of quality and just value. One that strikes you as they walk in the ring, just has that presence about it. It's naturally built super well and smooth in its makeup, and one that's really fresh to the touch. So let's congratulate this young man with a big round of applause.
Exhibiting our purebred market individual Hampshire was Clancy DeBrick. In the ring now is our market white face.
The young lady's Dorset marked wether that leads out here is one that's really impressive as we study his rack shape and how he carries muscle down his spine. One that's just extremely wide and fresh as we put our hands on him. Love how his cage sits in him with that curvature there. Yeah, one we'd like to see maybe square and fuller about his hip design, but when you study him from his loin edge forward, that's a really nice wether that's obviously market ready and trimmed to the touch. So nice job putting that one together. The young man's ewe lamb that's in second. Again, a long spine, really fresh, youthful kind of ewe. Maybe one that gets a little softer in her top line for me comparatively. Relative to our class winner, not just as much muscle shape and dimension. But let's put our hands together for those two kids here.
Exhibiting our champion, our market white face champion was Lexi Clarenbeek, our reserve Lane Skolton. Entering the ring now is our speckle face market lambs.
We're going to go purples on both of these two. I think they're really nice speckle face sheep that have some trade-offs in their build and composition that if we could combine, I think you could have one really stellar sheep. But the young lady that ultimately wins in her ewe lamb she brings out is just wider constructed. She's bolder about her center, carries more shape down her top side, and is probably just fresher to the touch as we study her with the handle there. A ewe from the side, though, I'd like to loosen up as she travels a little bit. I'd like to tighten up in her chest floor some. But again, I think she balances well. She just has that extra mass of muscle and skeletal width to lead out this drive. The wether that's in second, I really like this guy as he comes in. He's super sound. He's big and stout about his leg. I like his extra length of body. I like how he's taller at the point of his shoulder. It's just when we study him from the front, he's pinched up in his chest. Got to pull him apart. His rack shape's just not as big. If we can just power him up and pull him apart a little more, he's our class winner. He just doesn't have that muscle dimension that our class winner does today. But a really nice one. Let's congratulate both of them.
Exhibiting our champion speckle face was Baylor Van Riggemorter, our second, and reserve Elise Zwart. Entering the ring now will be our first class of blackface market lambs. Our first class of blackface market lambs. Attention exhibitors, I know you can't hear me in your tent, but please be bringing your blackface market individuals to the north end of the show ring. Please bring your blackface market individuals to the north end of the show ring.
The young man's ewe lamb that wins this class is just the one that's the most ready today and is excelling this class in terms of just muscle development, maturity, and stoutness. This is the boldest made sheep that carries the most muscle on its skeleton, has the best turn to its rib cage. This is one that's extra opened up and ready to go. Maybe not the firmest, maybe not the freshest handling of the top set, but this is the one that just overpowers you in terms of muscle production and readiness today. Young lady's ewe in second is one that I think's really interesting, and she's a little lot later in her maturity. And I think down the road, a couple of weeks or a month, maybe beats our class winner because I think her design is really good. There's one that's a little bit shallower in her chest floor, taller about her shoulder, just longer and more extended, and just youthful in her makeup. She is firmer and fresher to the touch. There's just not as much sheep there today. She's not quite ready. She's not quite market ready to run with that class winner. But I think that's a really nice second place lamb that's got some runway left in its ability to do well. I think the same could be said for this young lady in 3 with her weather. I think this guy's got a ton of upside. I think he's just really young yet and needs some more weight. His build is really good. He's square across his top edge. He's square in his hip. He's just not ready yet. Keep pushing him. His better days are in front of him. Young ladies, ewe in 4. Here's a ewe that has some more center body, has a little more muscle mass, but it just doesn't come together in as neat and attractive package. It's deeper about its chest, maybe plainer about its neck. We just need to maybe clean that up for this stage of the game and the weight that it's at. The 2 young men that round out the class, again, some sheep that have some raw muscle shape. They have a good look to them. They're just really bare in terms of their muscle comparative to the ones above it. They're just sheep that need more time on feed to be more competitive today. But let's put our hands together for all those kids in this drive.
In our first class of blackface market lambs, first place and receiving a purple was Kenny Hulseth. Second place and receiving a purple was Ava Ullman. Third place and receiving a lavender, Elise Zwart. Receiving blues, Nash Verlick. Garrison Borchers, Kinley Cameraman. Entering the ring now, we will have our second class of blackface lambs.
I think we have two ewe lambs that are really similar in their overall build and muscle shape and overall freshness to lead out. I think you're splitting hairs if you talk about that. The ewe that wins, though, simply put them into motion. That's the better one, the one that's more relaxed in its spine, looser about her rear leg, moves out cleaner and easier. Yep, I'd like to take that one's chest and shove it up some, but outside of that, that ewe balances up really well, fresh, square, good in its build. Young lady's ewe in second. Man, I love the spread of body, love the mass it has. It's just gets a little rigid in its spine when we put it into motion, and I need to change that to make her your class winner today, plain and simple. The young man's Weather in third comes in the ring and kind of grabs you right away. He's really fresh and youthful. He's got some good turn to his body. He's got some extra length to his neck. We get in for the handle, though. This is kind of where we lose out. He's not as big in his rack shape. He doesn't tie as well into his hip-loin juncture. He's just not as market ready as the ones above him today. And maybe one that's just a little peaked about, again, how his shoulder ties into that rib cage. Young ladies, ewe in four. Again, I think a really practical, simple made one that just fits together. This one's ultra smooth as you study it from shoulder to rib, rib to flank, and flank into hind saddle, just all blends. But ultimately you get off. This one's just finer in its makeup. It's the smallest footed sheep. It's the narrowest made sheep. And we put our hands on it, probably maybe has the least amount of muscle of our top four. We just need to add more stoutness to that one to make her more competitive. The young man's natural color rounds out the drive. I think hind saddle back, that sheep's really good. He's got some loin edge. He's got some hip shape. This one just comes way too narrow at his chest. He's way too narrow at his rack and just pinches in that rib cage. We need to pull that apart to make him more competitive today. Let's congratulate those kids with a round of applause.
In our second class of blackface market lambs, first place went to Kinley Cameraman. Second, Allison Mueller. Third, Bryce Fetters. Fourth, Rael Cruzy. And fifth, Will Vandenberg. Entering the ring now is our third class of blackface market lambs.
I think it's a close top pair in this drive, and I'll be honest, the ULAM grew on me as the class went along, and the weather started presenting what I see as challenges the longer we went on, and I'll share what I see. You get off to the side, I think the ultimate difference here is this ULAM blends so much neater from her shoulder to her cage to her flank, and her top line sits in her way neater and more correctly as we study her, both in motion and on the go. I think it's flat, it just blends smooth, and her loin edge is better. Yeah, I'd like to change maybe how her shoulders sit in her and pick those shoulders back in tighter. They kind of turn out a little bit. But I think when you just get off and study her, the pieces fit really naturally, and that's a fresh, wide-made, thick U that we're going to use to win just because she balances better. Young Man's Weather has pieces that are out there. You love his stoutness of kind. I love how his rack turns into him. That's where I start to run into problems, though. Center of his back keeps coming up and we're pushing it down. You get on his loin edge, it doesn't tie in near as neat and smooth into his hip. And we get off to the side. I got to tell you, I see all that flake roll, which tells me he's really cut up. And we got to drop him and just balance him there for him to be your class winner. If he does those things, yeah, he wins easily. He just is not as smooth in his makeup. Young Man's Weather in third probably has those advantages. I think he blends way neater, especially from the side. His shoulder to his rib cage, the way his muscle ties into him is all super smooth. He's just not as bold and as kind compared to those two. And same as the last weather. We got to clean him up in that flank. All that excessive wool throws off his balance to me. I'd trim that stuff right off and balance him up. But that's a sheep that's just not as wide comparative to the two above him. The next two sheep in class, there's some sheep that have some muscle dimension to them. They just naturally get plainer. The weather in 4, his biggest issue is he swoops in his top. We got to make him stronger and flatter about his top line for him to move up today. The ULAM in 5th there just gets rounder overall. Its shoulders round, hips are round. I'd like to square it up that way. Young lady that ends out the class, there is no doubt that sheep has muscle. That's a big flat top at him. That's a big rump and rear end. He just gets compact. He's earlier maturing, shorter backed, thicker necked. I'd just like to stretch him out, make him more youthful in this class today to move up. Let's give all those kids a nice round of applause in this drive.
In our third class of Blackface Market Lambs, first place, Kinley Cameraman. Second, Kyle Coy. Receiving blues, Kason Van Driesen, Ridley Verilek, Cora Fetters, and Georgia Vandenberg. Entering the ring now is our Class 4 Blackface Market Lambs. Attention sheep exhibitors, if you were a first and second place in the Blackface Market Lambs, please be on the north end of the show ring to come back in for the champion and reserve champion Market Lamb.
So compared to your last feather, young man, this one ties together way neater and better about his top line, and that's what wins this class, right? We get off to the side. This one's way better fronted, cool and nifty about his neck, and his shoulder sits dead level, and his top blends really well. I'd love to give him a little more punch in his rear end, but I think that's being picky. That sheep's well held together for the weight and size he is. He's a nice class winner for us. Young man in 2, I like some things about him over a class winner. I think he's bolder in his makeup. I think his rib cage is bigger. Maybe at the end of the day has more pounds of product. The longer we drive him, though, that neck keeps falling into his shoulder. It kind of opens up in his shoulder and just isn't as elite in his front end shape. If we could maybe just pick that neck up and set it on his shoulder blade, maybe we can consider using him, because I think back there's tons of great value and basics are just super good. So congratulations to him. Young lady in 3, your lamb just gets plainer overall. I think that's a sheep that's got some shape and dimension. I think he's got some length of body, pounds of product. He's plainer about his bone. He's plainer about his look, just not as showy as the other ones above him today. Young lady rounds out the class. Here's a big growthy kind. I appreciate that. I mean, it looks like one that's grown fast and well. Again, skeletally just not as wide, not as much pounds of product on that one to compete above it today. Let's congratulate all the kids in this drive.
In our class 4 black face market lambs, first place went to Kyle Coy, second Caden Van Ravensway, receiving blues Cheyenne Zutenhorst and Destiny Clarenbeek. We are now bringing in our first and second place class winners for the choosing of the champion black face market lamb.
Nice drive of blackface crossbreds out here, and I think we got some variances to work through and little things that we have to prioritize of what's correct for me, I guess, to pick. But let's congratulate these kids as we pick your champion and reserve in this division.
Lexi Clarenbeek, would you please bring your white face market lamb? Lexi Clarenbeek, would you please bring your white face market lamb to the north side of the show ring? Our champion market blackface winner was exhibited by Kyle Coy. Our reserve, Kinley cameraman. Entering the ring now, we will be choosing our overall champion market animal. We will be moving into showmanship next.
I don't want to come off that I'm Russian, but I think this division sorts itself pretty easier. There was one that came out and just kind of grabbed me today and said that was your winner, and then came down who are going to go forward with reserve. So I'll go out and select your champion and reserve, and let's congratulate these kids one last time as we do that.
Entering the ring next, we will have our senior showmanship. Our overall champion market was exhibited by Clancy DeBrink, our reserve Kinley cameraman.
Well, let's congratulate all these kids for doing a nice job all day long in showmanship and showing lamb. So let's put our hands together and show our appreciation for these seniors. I tell most people I don't really like doing showmanship because I don't know, everybody tries so hard, and you break a lot of hearts. And just remember, it's one day and one opinion. And I always tell people it's what I see and what I don't see that make the difference, right? And we could do this again in 30 minutes, and I'd probably change it all up. So don't walk away thinking you did a bad job today. I think it was just what we noticed. And so it is my preference. I love doing showmanship at the end because I got to watch all of you all day. And the person that's going to win, I think they're having some struggles right now, but I would guarantee you when I saw them earlier, they had that sheep stuck as well as they could. And I think some others have shown up here at the end, have continued their success through the day. But I'll go out and pick your top 3 today, and we'll put our hands together for those kids.
In our senior showmanship class, first place went to Kenny Hossa, second, Elise Swart, and third, Allison Mueller. Just a reminder, senior showmanship, you will be asked to participate in our super showmanship, which will be tomorrow afternoon. So they will be contacting you about super showmanship. In the ring now, we have our intermediate sheep showman.
fun drive here, and I think for me there was an easy and clear winner, and that's going to be the young lady on the end here with the speckle lamb. She's done a tremendous job all day, and the only way she gets beat is if she beats herself. And she tried a little bit there, but when she settles in, man, she does a great job propping that sheep up, quick in motions, and always having that thing looking good. Reserve will be this young lady right here in front of me. She drove a lot of sheep today and consistently just got them shown. And we talked about maybe just toning it back just a little bit, but you got to appreciate a kid that's got drive and gets them presented. And third will be the young lady in the back here today. Again, I think she commands that sheep's attention and makes it work for her. Let's give all these kids that came out a good round of applause. They did an excellent job today.
In our intermediate showmanship class, first place went to Baylor Van Riggenmorter, second, Rael Cruz, and third, Cora Fetters. In the ring now is our junior showmanship class. Attention everybody, we have a vehicle that needs to be moved. If you own a black Ford Escape, license plate MSU 583 and are parked up by Grandpa's barn, we need to have that moved. Once again, a black Ford Escape MSU 583 parked up by Grandpa's barn. We need to have it moved, please. Once again, if you have a black Ford Escape, license plate NSU 583, parked by Grandpa's barn, we'd need it moved immediately.
All right, it's been a long day, and I want to thank Sioux County for inviting me back, and I want to thank all the kids and families for doing a great job today and bringing out some really good livestock. And as we round out with these young kiddos, keep working at it. Those that have halters, my challenge is throw halters away and show without them. You guys can do it. Anybody that's raised or shown sheep and worked with kids, we know it. You can do it. You got to have confidence, okay? You show so much better when you don't have a halter on, in my opinion. So I challenge you to get there. All of you, keep working. Practice and time makes the difference. And you can easily tell who's spent a little bit more time in this group than others. And just keep working at it. You guys are all doing the basics really well. And like I said, it's fun to watch you. The young lady on the end with the natural, that's going to be your champion showman in this division. When you talk about practice, I can tell that young lady's put in a lot of time, and it pays off. That ewe responds to her, and she does a fantastic job. Young lady right here, you're a reserve champion today. When we talk about calm, steady showman, that's somebody who just always has their sheep set, always has good eye contact, does the basics extremely well. Young man right there, you're going to be third. And when he gets that lamb propped up, he does as well as anybody. I don't think he's just quite as fast or brisk maybe as the other two young ladies, but he's well deserving of that. And the other 4 or 5 of you, keep up the good work. You're doing a nice job, all right? Let's give them one last round of applause.
In our junior showmanship class, first place went to Bree Lusink, second, Riley Verlick, and third, Kason Van Briesen. And thank you very much for judging our county.